You are sitting in a dark theater, the air filled with the smell of popcorn and the quiet rustle of people settling into their seats. The screen glows faintly at first, then the soundtrack begins to rise, filling the room with a growing sense of tension. Your heart starts to beat faster even though you know you are perfectly safe and nothing can actually harm you. And then, suddenly, a terrifying figure bursts onto the screen, and the entire room screams at once. Yet instead of leaving in anger or fear, people laugh, relax, and often say it was one of the best parts of the movie. So why do humans willingly pay to be terrified? And why do we keep coming back for more? At first glance, this behavior makes no sense, because fear is supposed to protect us from danger, not entertain us. It is one of the oldest survival instincts in the human brain, designed to keep us alive by warning us about predators, accidents, and threats. When fear kicks in, it tells us to fight or run away, to do anything except sit still and enjoy the feeling. And yet, when it comes to horror films, we buy tickets, dim the lights, and wait patiently for that exact fear to arrive. Psychologists call this strange contradiction the paradox of pleasant fear, because the body feels danger while the brain knows we are safe. The monster is fake, the blood is fake, and the danger is fake, but the emotions are as real as they come. Inside your brain, something very real happens the moment a scary scene begins. The amygdala, which is the part of the brain that processes fear, lights up as though a predator is actually nearby. This triggers a flood of adrenaline and cortisol, stress chemicals that prepare the body to run or to fight. Your heart begins to pound in your chest, your breathing grows shallow, and even your hands may start to sweat. What is fascinating is that once the scary moment ends, your body does not simply return to normal. Instead, your brain rewards you with dopamine, a chemical linked to pleasure, satisfaction, and relief. This combination, fear first, then reward afterward, creates a roller coaster effect that is both thrilling and addictive. Horror movies act like emotional laboratories where we can test what it feels like to face danger without ever being in real danger. When the killer walks slowly toward the victim, we feel the panic rising, but deep down, we know it is only a movie. This allows us to practice fear in a controlled way, training the brain to manage panic and then recover from it. Psychologists often compare this to exercise for the emotions, a kind of mental weightlifting where each scare makes us a little stronger. We can scream, hide our eyes, and still walk out completely unharmed, which gives us a strange sense of mastery over fear. It is fear with a safety net, and that makes it strangely appealing. But not everything about horror is about adrenaline and biology. There is also a powerful sense of curiosity. Humans have always been drawn to the unknown, to the mysteries of death, darkness, and evil. Horror films allow us to explore these forbidden questions in ways that are thrilling rather than dangerous. What if ghosts are real? What if evil is unstoppable? What if something is truly waiting in the shadows? Watching horror gives us a safe way to peek behind the curtain of the unknown, satisfying our curiosity without paying the ultimate price. It is not just about being scared. It is about confronting mysteries we cannot solve in real life. Fear becomes even more powerful when we share it with other people. Watching a horror film alone in the dark can be frightening, but watching in a crowded theater creates a completely different energy. When an entire room gasps or screams at the same moment, it feels like everyone has survived something together. Social scientists say this happens because shared fear builds trust, almost like a tribe uniting after escaping a predator. This is why horror films are so popular on dates. Holding hands through a jump scare can actually strengthen emotional bonds. It is also why ghost stories have been told around campfires for centuries. Fear is not just about survival, it is about community. Horror also gives us something psychologists call catharsis. which means an emotional cleansing or release. Daily life fills us with stress, anxiety, and emotions that we cannot always let out. But in a horror movie, we are allowed to scream, cry, or gasp as loudly as we want, and nobody will judge us. The rise of tension followed by sudden relief acts like a pressure valve for the mind, helping us release pent-up feelings. It is similar to how exercise or laughter makes us feel lighter afterward. But here, the tool is fear itself. By the end of the film, many people feel calmer, more relaxed, and strangely refreshed, as though their stress has been burned away. Horror films also appeal to the logical side of our brains, not just the emotional side. Each film is like a puzzle filled with clues. Who will survive? When will the next scare arrive? And what secret is hiding in the shadows? The human brain loves solving patterns, and horror films are built with a rhythm that plays directly into this instinct. Sometimes we think we have predicted what will happen, only to be tricked at the very last moment, which makes the scare even more powerful. This constant cycle of guessing and being surprised keeps the brain fully engaged, almost as if we are playing a game against the movie itself. Horror is not just passive watching. It is an interactive battle between the viewer's mind and the filmmaker's tricks. Fear is not only personal, it is cultural and historical. Every society has created its own monsters, demons, and ghost stories, passed down from generation to generation. These tales were not just entertainment, but warnings. Don't go into the forest. Don't disrespect the dead. Don't break the rules of the tribe. Modern horror movies are the direct descendants of these ancient myths. Vampires and zombies echo our fear of disease and death, while haunted houses reflect our unease with the unknown. So when we watch horror films, we are not only enjoying modern entertainment, we are participating in a tradition as old as humanity itself. Of course, not all aspects of horror's appeal are harmless. Some people chase increasingly extreme forms of horror, seeking gore, shock, and disturbing images rather than story or suspense. This can desensitize the brain, making real violence feel less shocking over time, which can be a troubling effect. Others may use horror not to build resilience, but to feed unhealthy fascinations with fear or violence. Like any powerful experience, horror can be enjoyed in healthy moderation or consumed in harmful excess. Its strength as entertainment lies in balance, in giving us thrills without pushing us too far. Not everyone reacts to horror in the same way, and scientists have studied the differences. Thrill seekers and extroverts are more likely to enjoy horror films because they crave novelty, intensity, and strong emotions. Highly anxious or sensitive people, on the other hand, often avoid horror because the stress it creates is simply too overwhelming. Teenagers and young adults are the biggest fans because horror gives them a safe way to test their courage and independence. As people age, many begin to prefer comfort over adrenaline, which is why older audiences often choose other genres. Our relationship with horror says a lot about our personality, biology, and even the stage of life we are in. So why do we love being scared by horror movies? Because they transform one of our oldest survival instincts into something playful and exciting. They allow us to experience danger without risk, and then reward us with relief and laughter. They connect us to the ancient myths of our ancestors and the shared rituals of fear in modern theaters. They give us a chance to scream out our stress, bond with others, and even sharpen our emotional resilience. Horror films are not just about monsters, ghosts, or killers. They are about what it means to feel alive in the face of fear. And maybe that is why, no matter how much they scare us, we will always come back for more.